Good morning, students. Today we'll be dealing with the poem Amanda from your textbook First Flight. Now, this poem is written by Robin Kellin. So, let us first take a look about the author, who she is. So, Robin Kellin is an Australian author of books for children. She was born on 28th Feb 1936 in New South Wales, and she had written her first short story and was published at the age of 16, and she was being awarded with the Children's Book of the Year award. And about her writing, this Robin Kellin is a poetess who takes in her pen the everyday and universal happenings of life and pertaining to small children with the activities which are very dear to her, as they represent innocence, love, smartness, and their nature. So she is depicting all these kind of things, all these issues like smartness, innocence, love, and the nature of the student or their feelings in her poem. Now, every child feels that he is controlled and instructed not to do one thing or another. You too may feel that your freedom is curtailed. Now, this happens with everyone. If we think of your age, nowadays you all are instructed to do this, to do that, not to do this, not to do that. So these are general things, and these things are done by your parent just to make you a disciplined person. But you feel as if your freedom is curtailed. You take things otherwise. But somewhere you insist, or your activities insist your parent to instruct you every time. So we can say it is a precaution taken by the child as well to be in disciplined, to behave properly. Now, let us once have a complete reading of the poem. What the lines are here are as follows. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. Do you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden. The freedom is sweet. Don't eat that chocolates, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda? I am a Rapunzel. I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. Stop that suckling at once, Amanda. You're always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda? So, these are the lines of the poem. Now, let us go with the detailed explanation of the poem. So, now in the first stanza, what the poetess is observing, or what the parent is observing about the child is, or what the instructions are given here is, don't bite your nails, Amanda. We can see this is a common habit among all the children to bite the nails, and the parent is instructing Amanda not to bite the nails. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. So we could see, because of lack of exercise and physical exertion, physical fitness, students nowadays are not ready to sit straight. They slouch their shoulder, the posture is not correct, and they are least bothered about all these things. But being a mother or being a father, everyone feels that my child should be very perfect in all the ways, by all means. And what here we can see is the same expectation of Amanda's parent, that she should not bite the nails, she should sit straight, she should not hunch her shoulders, and all. So the mother said to Amanda, "Don't put your nails in your mouth and bite them. Don't lower down your shoulders, Amanda. Stop being down and sit up straight, Amanda." So, this is what her mother is continually trying to tell her, that you should sit straight, your posture should be very correct, so that you should look good. And if she is following the same posture in public, it will be a bad reflection, right? So, let us discuss about this first stanza. Who is the speaker in these lines? Who is the speaker in these lines? Yes, it is Amanda's mother, we can say, or her parent. Then, what is Amanda doing with her nails? So, Amanda is biting her nails with teeth, we can say. Now, how is Amanda keeping her shoulders? She is keeping her shoulders down. Okay. Then, what is the expectation of her mother from Amanda? What she is demanding? That she should sit upright and straight. So this is all what discussed in this first stanza. Okay. Now, there is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. Okay. Now, in this stanza, Amanda is lost in her imagination and doesn't bother what her mother is instructing her to do. She imagines herself at a small island where the sea is calm and looks greenish like an emerald. She imagines that she is the only inhabitant on that island. There, she would drift around blissfully like a mermaid freely. You all know what is mermaid, right? Then drifting means move slowly. Okay, then let us discuss about these lines with the questions. Now, where does Amanda imagine herself to be? Amanda imagines herself to be where? Yes, Amanda imagines herself on a lonely island surrounded by the sea. Yes. Now, what is the sea compared with here in these lines? Yes, the sea is, or what is the, in what way the sea is discussed here? The sea is very calm and the water is greenish like an emerald. It is compared with the emerald stone. Okay, the color of the stone, which is green, right? Now, here in this line, what does she want to do at the island? What exactly she is feeling to do there? Yes, she wants to roam around freely and blissfully like a mermaid on the island. Okay. Now, what is a mermaid? Yes, mermaid is a mythical character which has its upper part like a girl and the lower like a fish. Yes. Now let us go with the third stanza. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. So now in this stanza, after reading the stanza, even you can also come to know, or you can also, means you also remember the instructions given by your mother. These are the common instructions, right? To complete the homework, to tidy your room, to clean the shoes, to pack the bag, keep the books properly, clean the keep your notebooks neat and clean. Every time these instructions are, now and then they are given by your teachers, by your parents, like, right? So here in the stanza, Amanda's mother again asks her, have you finished your homework, Amanda? Have you made your room clean and tidy? I think I told you to clean your shoes, but you have not cleaned them yet. So these are the instructions, or these are the, this is, we can say, the interrogation, or this is what her mother is interrogating with Amanda, right? So who is the speaker here? Again, she is the Amanda's mother. What does she ask about her homework? She asks Amanda if she has finished her homework. Okay. Then what does she say about the room? She asks if Amanda has made her room neat and clean. What does she ask about her shoes? She asks if Amanda has polished her shoes, as she was asked earlier to do so. Okay. So these are the three stanzas. Now let us go with the next one. I am an orphan roaming the street. I patterns of dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. Now, again we can say here that even her mother is instructing her, or asking her, interrogating her about many things in third stanza, but this girl is lost again in her own thoughts. Again, Amanda doesn't give any reply to the question posed by her mother. She's again lost in her imaginary world. She imagines herself as an orphan. She's wandering the streets of the town. She is barefooted. Her bare feet walk on the soft sand, and the movements create designs and patterns on the soft sand. She realizes that silence is golden and freedom is sweet. Sweetest thing in the world. Okay. Now let us have a discussion with the question and answers for this stanza. Who is the speaker of these lines? Yes, it is Amanda. What does she imagine herself to be? She imagines herself to be an orphan. Okay. What does she want to do? She wants to roam around the streets freely. Freely is really very important here. Okay. As you all want to roam freely. How are silence and freedom valued here? She realizes that silence is golden. Yes, how they are valued? She realizes that silence is golden and freedom is the greatest virtue in the world. Okay, so this is the explanation for all these four stanzas. Now what you all have to do is, you have to underline all the new words what you come across in these four stanzas, and you have to write down the synonyms, 2 synonyms for each words, and whatever you have understood. I hope you understood everything from this from the explanation of these 4 stanzas, and you have to write a short summary for this 1, 2, 3 and 4 stanzas, and the rest of the part we will be dealing in the next video. Okay, I hope you all understood this. If you don't understand, you revisely hear the video and go through it twice or thrice. Definitely you'll get it. Fine. See you. Thank you. Have a nice day.